What was the cringiest thing you did in your first relationship? I got my first girlfriend at 18. We'd been hanging out and talking a fair bit, and then we went to a friend's beach house with a bunch of other friends to spend the night and party a bit. We end up sharing a bed because she doesn't really know anyone else super well, and as we are lying there I put my arm around her and she snuggles up closer. That was already more than I was planning to do, and it went pretty well, so I didn't want to push my luck, but then she says, you know, you can put your hand anywhere you want. I don't want to push my luck too much, so I just put my hand on her breast over her shirt, and then she says, I mean anywhere. I think, duck it, I'm in too deep to back out now, and go under her shirt. So far so good, but then I do the cringiest thing I have ever done, and hopefully will ever do. I give her breast a squeeze, and say noot noot. Like ducking Pingu. She thought it was hilarious, but a couple of my friends overheard it from the next room over, and they still haven't stopped giving me shit for it about 3 years later. When I was 14, I stood outside for my then girlfriend for like 2 hours, just to see her come outside. She thought it was creepy, and we broke up after 2 days. Edit. I just remembered this. I got on one knee to ask her to date me, as if I was marrying her. I suppressed that memory for a while. Duck. I wore a floor-length leather jacket to our first date because the Matrix was really cool at the time. Edit. Glad to see that I wasn't the only one digging the Matrix look. To answer some questions, I was 15 at the time. My mum bought it for me from a leather shop in Glasgow, which makes the story either better or worse, your choice. There was no second date. And to all the people quoting Sunny in Philadelphia and Grandma's Boy, yes, I have robot legs and no, I didn't burn the duster. We were 16, and we both loved sushi. After payday we'd go to our favorite spot and feed sushi to each other for hours, one roll at a time. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, we would kiss each roll before shoving it into the other's mouth. Edit. Great. Now this is how I make my mark on Reddit. To answer a few replies, no we weren't fat. I'm white, she was Asian, not that it matters. We made it 6 years before it ended, and although some were cringy, I have tons of sweet memories from this time in my life. But still, lots of cringe. I sat in the car with her for an hour debating whether I should kiss her. I debated out loud too, no joke. I was literally like I could kiss you now, but should I? Dear God, why did she ever date me? There was this guy that I used to make out with that lived on a lagoon. We knew another person that lived nearby, so we could use her paddle boat to pass by the back of his house. We didn't see him out in the yard, so desperate and hormone-fueled young me starts yelling his name to see if he'd come out. This was pre-cell phones. I yelled and yelled for a long time, doing circles in the paddle boat, and the friend I was with was like, dude, give it up, he's not home. But he was home. He told us later that his whole family was sitting down to eat and heard me screaming his name over and over like a ducking cat in heat. So embarrassing. We weren't official yet, so when he held my hand in public I told him we can only do it for 5 seconds at a time and I would literally count down, out loud, the seconds. Yeep. We still joke about it, and I still cringe. This was less a relationship and more a crush. He was walking me to the subway station, and I wanted to hold his hand. I reached for it, and he just kind of kept his hand stiff. So I walked with him with our palms flat against each other's, held out in front of us. Why 15-year-old me? Why? When I was 14 I had this boyfriend and we used to have pretty standard makeout sessions after school. Well, we would be in the middle of kissing. Then he would get up, say he had to use the bathroom, come back and start kissing me again. This would happen over and over. So one day I'm like, why do you always go to the bathroom when we are making out? And he looks visibly uncomfortable and just sort of shrugs. I started thinking he had bowel problems. Then later I was talking to a male friend about it, and he told me my boyfriend was probably disappearing into the bathroom to jerk it. I didn't believe him, and was convinced for the longest time my first boyfriend had like IBS or something. Now I look back and think I was a little naive. Edit. To be fair, he never told me himself what he was doing in the bathroom, so it's really anyone's guess. The cringiness in this experience pertains to the idea that if he was leaving to the bathroom to take care of himself, so to speak. I was very young and didn't realize it. I was under the impression that my boyfriend took a lot of shits. Driving back from the drive-in theater, she takes her bra off under her shirt because it is uncomfortable, and my next move, turn on my Barenaked Ladies CD and recite all of 1 week. I don't think I hit the high notes in the purest form, as it didn't seem to have the intended effect of wooing. Homecoming dance. First kiss of the relationship. I wanted to try and do the thing from the movies where you passionately grab the other person on both sides of their face and pull them into a dramatic kiss. I ended up smushing his face to the point where he looked like he was sucking on a lemon and got pushed into a glass door. He was nice about it though. The second kiss was much calmer and sweeter. I had a crush on a girl, and after years of innocent flirting I didn't know how to take the next step, so one day I text her, "I love them big old breasts of yours," and she never spoke to me again. I still cringe thinking about it. It was just so out of the blue. I was just so stuck in this innocent flirting mode and didn't know how to take the next step, so one day I just decided I would take a trust fall, and I fell flat and hard lol. My first one. He broke up with me, and I started bawling for a good hour while he hugged me. Poor dude probably just wanted to home. My first serious one. I never talked to him because I was shy, but we made out at school every day in front of everyone. I ducking hate teenage me. If a text went unanswered for more than 5 to 7 minutes, I would hit resend again and again. And this was like 2007, so phone plans were not what they are now. And I was using my mom's, which had no texting included. Poor guy and poor parents' phone bill. He was 14 and I was 13. I was young, dumb, and thought I was in love. We were in the kitchen with my mom and at least one of my stepsisters. My mom is doing something at the counter and my boyfriend stands behind her, pulls his pee-pee out, and says, "Hey mom, what flavor is this?" She turns around, and I've never seen her turn back around so quick. I don't remember the conversation following. This was 11 years ago, but although I thought it was weird and felt uncomfortable about that, I laughed it off. Did I mention how dumb I was? It was cringy on both sides, but more so on his part. Edit. Thanks everyone for making this cringy moment my most upvoted comment. Many people seem perplexed about him calling her mom. He actually said her name when this went down, but he called her mom many other times. All of my friends have just called her mom, so that was normal for her. I was pretty emotional. I thought relationships were like the movies. Every moment was supposed to be schmoozy. Made a complete idiot out of myself. Telling him I love you daddy randomly. He's not my dad. I never called him daddy before that. I thought it was something people do because my brain is pea-sized. It was not effective. I had a crush on her in high school, but didn't know how to talk to girls. So I dyed my hair and grew a mullet to get her attention. I guess I was thinking courting was like how animals do it in the wild or something. Like peacocks. I spent hours making half-heart necklaces out of perilla beads, one for each of us, that we could both wear to signal that we were committed to each other. Oh, sweet lamb. Tell me this was, like, middle school, high school. I was 13. He was 14. We would make these dumb ducking video stories with shitty green screens, and I know he still has the videos around somewhere, but refuses to show me due to cringe lol. Though, I think the one that takes the cake is the time we went to see a shitty rom-com in theaters, but his mom insisted on not leaving us alone. She sat in the row behind us and would TSK every time he would try to put his arm around me. She and I did that thing where, if we texted each other and used a smiley face or put a period, we immediately assumed the other person was in a crappy mood. A fight would quickly ensue because of emojis and punctuation. I wish I could slap myself in the past. I didn't know how to break up with someone. The obvious solution was to get them to break up with me by becoming slowly more and more awful to them until they broke up with me. Inward working class. If you don't start being nicer to me, I might break up with you. Okay. Don't feel too bad. A 30-year-old man basically broke up with one of my friends that way, over text message. X asked to see me pee. Proceeded to show him a video of me doing it. He then said he was disgusted and that he was joking. Edit. To clarify, I didn't have videos of me peeing on my phone. I made a video for him since he asked. That sounds more like his bad. Maybe he just wanted to see if you'd do it? Because if that's a joke, it's not a great one. We were each other's first real boyfriend/girlfriend. Met as new freshmen during orientation week at our university. Gave each other a disgusting amount of very dark, very visible hikers during a week, where we'd be meeting a ton of new people, including academic advisors and Raz. Got any similar stories? Leave it in the comments below.